Actually, that was so good. So, the FBI is not going to send you an email. They're going to come knock at your door. And you'll know it's the FBI because they'll show you the badge. But you'll probably know that they're coming because usually you do something wrong. So, and something really wrong for the FBI. So, he's absolutely right. This is all, and what it will do is it will just stop your computer. And that appears on your screen. You can't get into documents. You can't get into Word. You can shut it off, but you can't serve sites. It's got you. So that's one to be aware of. And you can switch to my sites. Following up what Rob said is that, like if you want to do an Adobe update, Adobe Reader or Adobe Flash, go to the URL. And that's really important. If you can do a search for Adobe, but make sure when you see on the search at the bottom it shows the URL, which is the address. And that should say www.http maybe www or maybe HTTPS, which is secure. And then it's going to say adobe.com. It's not going to say adobe.org because it's a commercial business. And that's another thing to be aware of. .org is organizations like DCN. EDU is like educational, like UC Davis. So each one has a different, and the URLs are really important. You can hit the next one. Okay, and there it is again. We both got the same screenshot. And you can go to next, please. Okay, this is another really fun one. And these really stop the computer. I mean, like this thing is running so fast, it tells you that you're infected with, I don't know how many viruses and spyware. And it's got the nice little Microsoft logo, so that means it's from Microsoft. Not really. And this one will also just eat up your computer. And you hit the next one. This is another one. It just goes black screen with this middle thing. It says, see Windows System 32 run once. Something, and it just stops everything too. It'll take over a black screen. And you can hit next. This is a really nice one too. This one just is running like crazy. It tells you all the critical 36 files infected. Sometimes it's like 420. And so it gives you this illusion that you need this program for like $90. And actually it's $89.99. And then once you get it, 2 weeks later, you're going to get infected again, and they're going to say, oh yes, well you have a really bad virus, and for $27.99 more, you'll get the Ultra, which will clean it for another week until you get infected again, and then for another $39, you get their premium. So after around $190, it usually comes to me, and I remove it. And next one. This is another example of the FBI one. A little bit more detail. Some of them will say like that you've been on porn sites or you've been doing something else and that we are, you're in trouble. And next. So computer virus fact sheet. Actually went over most of that, but there's 200 new viruses are being discovered every month. Let me go down one more. Replication mechanism. Let's see what else. Searches for other to get infected. The hidden code will be executed wherever the program is involved. Then you can go next. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, and the data files. Now, I haven't really seen a virus wipe out data files, but I've seen it make them disappear. So they're still there. So if you get a virus and like nothing, all your documents, all your pictures, all your music is just suddenly gone, it's not really gone. It's still there. It could be gotten. But there may be viruses that will wipe out data. I just personally haven't come across it. So I just wanted you to be aware that if it looks like it's wiped out, it can be recovered, which means there's some kind of a masking program which makes you believe like that there's nothing on your computer anymore. Again, you have to pay some money and then they'll bring it back. But it's like covering it and uncovering it. And one more, please. Symptoms. disk access. You can hear it running, like it's just running and running, and you seem like it's not really doing what you want it to do, but it's doing other stuff. And next. Is there one more? I thought there was. Oh, there we go. Facebook. Facebook is, I don't know, not completely infected, but I would say there's a good 5%, 10% pages that are infected. So somebody can make a Facebook page, and if they know what they're doing, they can put code on it. And like sometimes, I know people Facebook, I'm sure some people do, you get an invite, like somebody says, we want to be your friend, and then you go to their page, and then you suddenly hit a virus, and you can infect your computer. So a web page can be infected. And Facebook does their best they can to try and remove them as they get reported, but I don't know how many Facebook pages are opened up daily. It's probably more than they can keep up with. And next one, YouTube. Also, same thing. People are posting video, they're posting content. Even it could be their picture of their puppy jumping through a loop, but if they want to infect it, they can infect the page. And then loads into your computer, and then all of a sudden you're infected. Same thing with YouTube, they do the best they can to keep viruses off, but there's infection. This one is really been happening a lot lately. You get a call from Microsoft. Microsoft is not calling you unless you know somebody in Microsoft or you have a family connection. They really don't call people because they sell three things. They sell operating systems, Windows, they sell Office, and they sell Exchange server software. That is their main business. They're a software maker. And they just don't contact you. So this is it. They say, and it's usually a foreign accent, that your computer is infected. This is Microsoft. And if you let us remotely into your computer, we will fix it. Okay. So you don't want to let anyone remotely into your computer because it's like posting your bank account numbers on Facebook. And I'm going on vacation. Here are all my banking account numbers. Just also the house key is under the mat. You want to realize that you don't want to give that information to anyone. So you don't want to let people remote in unless you know who it is. Now, fixing the computer. We talked about what viruses are. I mentioned that if you want to download and update, like Java, you type in Java on Google, you find that it's really Java, and then you go and get the update and download it directly. Same thing with Adobe Reader, Adobe Flash. Can't think of any others that come to mind. So you've got a virus, and what do you do next?
Run your software. Run your antivirus software.
It's usually too late by that time.
Go to MoneyPack and give me a credit.
Okay, so there are some little tricks. One trick that I like is you go to help and support, and I'm talking about Windows. Mac computers have much less virus attacks. And I'm not going to really touch upon how to fix a Mac. If it is infected, the best thing to do, but I'll touch upon it. Actually, let me spend 2 minutes on Macs. If it's been infected, then if you can access your data, then you want to copy your data onto some kind of an external drive, just your data, your pictures, your music, your documents. And do not use Time Machine, because Time Machine will back up the entire computer, including the virus. So if you move your data, then you can reload the operating system, but you have to wipe the disk first. So everything is off, including your data, so you have to make sure you did a good backup. I do these kind of things, but that would be the way to do it. Wipe the disk, put in a brand new operating system, move your pictures, your music, and documents back over. So that is like the ultimate fix, even for Windows. For Windows, the same thing. You save your pictures, your music, your documents onto an external drive. If you can access that stuff, if the virus hasn't prevented you from doing that. And you should be backing up anyway. Macs, you should back up the Time Machine, which is an amazing program built into Macs, and you just plug in any external hard drive. You can buy the external from Mac for $250, or you can buy the same external from Amazon for $50. If you feel like you need to support Mac and Apple, and if they're struggling, then pay extra to them. But if you want to save a little money on your end, you can go to Amazon or Best Buy or Office Max. Same hard drive, hook it up to the Time Machine, it backs up continually. For PCs, you should be backing up either offline or you should be backing up with an external. And if the program is working, automatically back up, double check and make sure it is. Now remember, if you get a virus, then you can only move the data, that's the only thing. Now, a little trick for Windows. If you have a virus and you're backed up and you're okay, then go into Help and Support, go into Restore to a previous time. This is a 50-50 fix. What that means is it works 50% of the time, 50% of the time it doesn't. You will know it doesn't work if it says you have no restore points, which means the virus went in and erased all your restore points because it knows what you were going to do and it's going to stop you. At that point, then you have to go to Plan B, which is save all your data, put it in your operating system. Very rarely can you really go into the registry and find all of the virus. If you have a few weeks and you want to devote about 10 or 15 hours to go by bit and go look through the registry, it's much easier to just put it in the OS. Now, one more trick. If Help and Support will not work running Windows in full running mode, in other words, you hit Help and Support and it says, this has been blocked or something, you can open up a Windows computer in safe mode. Does anybody know how to open up safe mode? There's one key. It's an F key. Yep, F8. So if you hit F8 when you're booting the computer up, you go into something called safe mode. And in safe mode with networking, preferably not with networking. And you go into safe mode and then go into Help and Support. And quite often what I found, again, 50-50, if it's blocked in full mode, it's not blocked in safe mode. I can go into Help and Support, go into Restore to a previous time. So what I'm trying to do is take the computer back before the virus occurred. And then you might be okay. 50-50 chance. Those are most of my tricks. I have other tricks. I can pretty much remove any virus. I do anywhere from 10 to 15 viruses a week.